I'm hoping the Big Ten has to modify their system for us.
Probably like getting grade 10 sandpaper rubbed on your face every day.
I mean, we say it all the time, whether, there's two types of turds, you're a sinker or you're a floater, but you're still a turd, right? I
mean, we are about players and players playing the plays and not necessarily the plays.
Welcome to the Varsity Club podcast. My name is Derek Peterson. Joining me this week, I have 50% of the Blackshirt duo that will be putting on a camp soon that you will want to take your kids to. Hell, maybe even forge a new birth certificate for yourself and try to take yourself to it. That seems like a good idea. From the 2021 Stille and Domann Youth Football Camp, Ben Stille, sir, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I assume JoJo, who is the other guy with his name on this thing, is busy showing up in more like PFF top 50 players in the country for the new season lists like that. He seems a busy guy these days, and I guess deservedly so. But Ben, you're here, and I'm super appreciative of you coming on this podcast. The floor is yours for the next few minutes. Just tell people what this thing is that you're going to be doing, this camp, why they should come, and how they can, I guess, get registered for it, or how they can find it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. Really, it's the age group we're targeting is 7 to 13-year-old boys and girls. We're hosting it at Speedway Park in Lincoln here. Hopefully we'll draw some people from, surrounding areas. And really, other than that, the registration and everything, the link will be up on my website, benstille95.com, under the camp section. And then there will be a link you can go to and get all signed up there. For the camp, the kids are going to be getting t-shirts, Chick-fil-A sponsoring. So they're going to get sandwiches, chips, a drink after the whole deal. Other than that, there's also a scholarship opportunity fund that will be provided. Lincoln Orthopedic Physical Therapy is helping out with some donations for that. And they'll be providing medical help as well there. And really, that's the gist of it for the most part. We're going to have other Husker players there helping out me and JoJo, just other volunteers in general, some buddies of mine. And so we're going to be going through some skills, some football skills, techniques, offense, defense. There's going to be just, as young as they are, there's going to be a lot of just playing opportunities. So it'll be good. JoJo and I will have some personalized merchandise for sale as well for after the camp. Kids will get autographs, the whole shebang, pictures once everything's over. So camp starts at 8:30. It's going to run till 11. So 2.5 hour window there. And we encourage everyone to sign up online. It'll be $49 to do that. And then if you do happen to register the day of at the camp, it'll be an additional $10. So we just would like to get as many as people as we could to sign up online, benstille95.com/camps. And that'll help us out a lot.
So you just mentioned the scholarship through the sponsorship. We talked about this a little bit before the podcast, and also that it's open to both boys and girls. So you have been intentional and made an effort about making this as inclusive as possible and open as possible to people. Why was that important to you and JoJo?
Yeah, we didn't want there to be any barrier for any kids. I think this will be a great event, great opportunity for kids to interact with some of the Husker players on a closer level. And I don't think anyone should be deprived of that because of a certain limitation placed on it arbitrarily by us. That wouldn't be right in my mind. So we just wanted to make the opportunity as available to everyone as possible, that have everyone enjoy the day.
So other Husker players will be there. Do you know which of your teammates have committed to come to this thing? Or is it like other college guys, we'll just see who shows up the day of?
That's a great question with teammates, yeah, college kids. Yeah.
Little of both, I'm guessing.
I have some commitments. We're still getting more people. And kids don't plan, college kids don't plan 2 weeks in advance. So I have verbal commitments. I don't have anything further than that, but yeah, Casey Rogers said he'll be there. I happen to trust that commitment. Most I knew some are a couple that are for sures right now, and there's a ton of other maybes in there, and more people were asking still. So you'll have to come and see. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you say college kids don't plan stuff more than 2 weeks in advance. I mean, you don't have to add the college kids to that. Like, my wife hates, I don't plan stuff more than 2 weeks in advance. Like, people ask me like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Ask her. Yeah. She's the planner, and it pisses her off. So you have a website with some branded gear on it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm thinking about buying a hat. But am I correct in saying that this is the first like big thing that you've done in the NIL space? Is this camp?
Yeah, aside from the website, which has taken a lot planning wise and whatnot, but yeah, the camp will be the next big ticket item for us coming up.
So it does not surprise me one bit that is the case, that one of the first things that you do in this new era is something that provides value to people beyond just yourself. This is a cool thing. Obviously it's important to you because you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't important. So like, why was this something that you wanted to do? Why was this one of the first things that you wanted to do?
Yeah, for sure. I think just providing this opportunity, I think as a kid that looked up to Huskers. Well, I was a kid, Husker football player specifically, would have been an awesome event. If they were able to do something like this, I would have loved to have attended myself. So really just putting myself in the shoes of the youth around Lincoln, around the state, surrounding areas. I just think it'd be a just really impactful event. Something that can inspire the kids to pursue their dreams.
Yeah. Share the origin story of this thing. Like, how does it come about? Do you tell JoJo you want to do this? Does JoJo tell you? We're talking a little bit off the pod. Sounds like a trip that you guys took is sort of what like spawned this idea. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. This infamous trip being referred to is him and I headed out to Colorado Springs on a break we had. I don't know, a couple months ago, before the off-season workouts and whatnot. Just kind of, bonded, got closer to each other. We've always been good friends, just being in the same class and whatnot, but not necessarily as much off the field. Just kind of had different friend groups. But since then, definitely bonded, grew together, started hanging out a lot more when we got back from that. And so just when all the NIL stuff kind of started going through and became a reality, I mean, honestly, I didn't think coming back for another year that the NIL stuff would pass while we were here. We thought it was supposed to pass in January and it got pushed back. And so I just assumed it would get pushed back again. And then,
sure.
A month leading up to to July 1st, I guess, I was like, well, I mean, I guess this is starting to become more of a reality. They haven't pushed it back again yet, so might as well dive in, get things rolling. Open Doors has been, not good in this entire process, just kind of leading up to July 1st. They met with the team several times, and, they're given ideas of ways we can monetize stuff, ways we can, give back to the community. And so camp was one of the things they mentioned, and I thought that was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Really liked it. And so that really is, I guess, what spurred it. I think after that, JoJo and I were just kind of together, thought it would be a good idea. I don't know that one or the other really thought of it first, but it was just natural, especially since his parents have also been running a youth camp out in Colorado for several years now too. They've been awesome in helping us out.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. You want to do some coaching stuff after your playing career is done, don't you?
Yep, for sure. It's really what I want to do, and in all areas of my life. Strength and conditioning, being a coach in that area is really what I do for my as a job, and then also, I'd love to coach football as well. Kind of tie those in together if possible.
Yeah. So like, I guess just going through the logistics of putting this kind of thing on, that's probably good experience for that future career.
Yeah, for sure. This is just NIL in general has provided such an opportunity for, athletes to, student athletes to be able to, get real world experience in situations like this where, there's, it's more real, I guess, because in a lot of these ventures, you're putting some of your own money on the line just to get stuff started up, just to get it going. And so, it makes it more real when you actually have skin in the game versus before when you couldn't really even and get to that point. So I think it's been an awesome learning experience.
So you talk to guys about what they did before college ball, and a lot of them will tell you like they went to some kind of like player-led camp. So like the story that I did with Cam Taylor Britt for our yearbook, like one of the things we talked about briefly was like he went to a Tavares Jackson camp, like back home. It's usually like NFL guys coming back home. And you mentioned before, like when you were younger, if you could have been able to go to a camp hosted by like Husker players, like how great of a deal that would have been to you. Did you get to go to any like NFL player camps kind of around you? Did you get to go to anything like this when you were younger, kind of learning the game?
Nothing. There's just not a ton. There's just not a ton of NFL athletes. Out of the state of Nebraska. And then on top of that, out of Ashland, Nebraska, there's none. So, no, I really don't think I did that I can remember. Really, camps I went to were more put on by, the school or by the high school athletes and stuff. The high school coaches and stuff were really the extent of my camp experiences.
Mm-hmm. This is something that you want to continue doing, right? Obviously like not immediately after this one's on July 17th, and like Big Ten Media Days is like a week after that. Then you guys start fall camp. So you're going to be kind of sort of, your time is going to be very limited after this, but like a camp sort of moving forward once you get into the off season. Is this something that you want to try to continue to do?
Yeah, it's something that's already being discussed, is just making this an annual thing for JoJo and I. Both of us have NFL aspirations. And so, coming back in the off season from there to put on the camp every year is something that's definitely being discussed right now, and something we'd love to do.
You're going to be that NFL guy now coming back to Ashland. That's going to be you.
Hopefully be the first. We'll see.
Yeah, so like 30 years from now, we'll be able to ask the next Nebraska defensive lineman, like, what camp did you go to when you were a kid? And he's going to say, I went to Ben Stille's camp. There you go.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. Talk to me a little bit about this NIL world that you guys are now just kind of been thrown into the deep end with this thing. Do you find yourself sort of flying by the seat of your pants with this thing? Or do you feel like you had most of the answers to questions that were coming up? Nebraska's been preparing for this kind of thing, this kind of environment for a while now. Like, is it still like, do you feel like prepared for it? Do you feel like you have answers when questions come up, or is it just like, nah, we're just going to figure it out as we go?
Yes and no. I can only imagine what some of the athletes at other universities are going through as far as question wise, if their universities weren't as proactive as Nebraska was in the whole situation. We were definitely proactive for sure. I think Nebraska was as much as they could be, but there's also, rulings from the NCAA that didn't happen until literally hours before July 1st.
Yeah.
So at that point, there's certain areas of things that don't have the most rigid of rules, I will say. Our compliance department has been good. I've been in there more this week than I have in my entire career, probably.
They're probably loving life right now.
Yeah, they have got some things that they're working through. And honestly, it's not even just a compliance thing, though. It's the entire university, the business department of the university, and even things outside of compliance that are outside of their control. So, I mean, really, it's not even with all NIL things, it's not even just them you're contacting, and they're giving you other people in the university to contact that you didn't even know existed at the university, and areas of the university that you didn't know were a thing. So it's been a learning experience to, reach out and, try to get answers to questions. And a lot of the answers right now are, there's not exactly a set in stone process or rule for that right now. So, but there will be in the future.
One of the things that I've seen people sort of point to that they're curious about is you guys probably don't have your schedule's different right now than it will be in a month. So like when football starts, how much of your brain do you think will be devoted to football? How much will be devoted to school? And now with like this NIL thing, how much will be devoted to like, okay, let me try to grow my personal brand? Like, do you view it changing at all? Or like once the season starts, will a lot of you guys just be like, yeah, nope, that NIL stuff, we'll do that in the off season. It's football time now. And like nothing will change. Do you envision that being the case? Or how do you think this kind of changes whenever your schedule switches up?
Yeah. I can only answer for myself.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting how people handle it. I can almost guarantee you that there will be kids that get very caught up in the process of it and focus less on what really matters in the whole brand, even in the branding scheme of things, right? I mean, if the best way, the reason Adrian Martinez can command what he can command brand wise is because of what he does on the field. And so, I mean, some kids are going to get caught up in the trying to brand more than focus on the field play, which is really going to take care of all the branding you need, and then really just capitalizing on it is all it'll take. So I think some kids will get wrapped up in that, and it's going to be a distraction for some kids for sure. It's it's a maturity thing, I think, at that point, which will help a lot of the veteran older guys. Just kind of understanding that process. For myself, I'm trying to front load all this stuff while I do have some time in the off season. I'm not in classes right now, and all I have are workouts. So, I mean, in my mind, I'm never going to let any sort of NIL opportunity or branding take away from even the smallest of things that I do in my preparation for football. If it ever gets to that point, I won't make the decision to, I guess, go forward with a lot of the branding stuff and let it go. So I'm trying to front load a lot of it right now, so I don't have to do much during the season at all. Is the plan.
I think the cool thing too with sort of the complexion of your guys' group, your guys' locker room, is that you have a lot of guys like yourself and like JoJo who can sort of be maybe like hold other guys accountable if they feel like stuff is maybe slipping. It seems like you guys just have a good chemistry within the group. What kinds of opportunities in general, like, do you want to take from this? Like, what kinds of things do you want to do outside of camp, outside of website? Have you thought about that? I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Another big thing for me and a group of guys, I guess, is going to be just kind of doing some signings, some autograph stuff. That's really the other big one, aside from maybe a couple social media posts. But I think the biggest areas for to make progress in, I guess, or that I'm going to focus on, are the camps, my apparel, and doing the signings and whatnot. So anyways, and obviously I don't have that much time before my time here is done. So anyways.
I have some hypotheticals for you then.
Let's hear it.
You can be sponsored by one restaurant company, and you get to hand select which restaurant that is. Now, it can be a chain, it can be a mom and pop shop here locally, it can be a sit-down place or a fast food place. One restaurant. What are you picking?
That's a great question. So I go food wise. I have a new favorite food place. If you know me, I have a new favorite food place every couple weeks. So if you ask me this question a couple more weeks, it'll be different. But currently, at the moment, I'm a big, just in general, huge breakfast fan. Breakfast food, definitely the best meal of the day.
Same.
And so I'm a big green gâteau guy at the moment. Anyways, that's be the area, I guess. I'd love to get something from. So
Okay.
let's set something up there.
So breakfast for dinner is a plus for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love I like Belgian waffles for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
My wife hates it. We never get to have it. She doesn't like it.
Unbelievable.
So I got to make my waffles in the morning. Otherwise I'm not going to have them. I don't know if this one, I don't know if I can ask you this one. I'm going to try. If you can't answer, that's fine, but I'm going to try. You can be a Nike, a Jordan, Under Armour, Adidas, or Reebok athlete. First of all, can you answer this question without getting in trouble? And second of all, which would you choose?
Well, if I'm not supposed to answer this question, nobody's ever told me not to. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I mean, here I'll kind of do a summary. Definitely not Under Armour, Reebok. Adidas has some solid stuff for sure, and they've definitely improved since I've gotten to the university, or even, I mean, I think Adidas is just apparel game in general. When I was a kid, was not what it is today. I think it's much more competitive with Nike for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do like the Jordan schools that have the Jordan football apparel. It's a pretty tough look. I don't know. So just in general, though, probably Nike overall. But those top three are all solid.
So are you like a Jordans on feet kind of guy? Like, do you wear sneakers, or is it like, are you going to walk around in like Ultra Boosts or like some of like the Nike, I guess, more running shoes, not necessarily sneakers?
Well, I have about two different main shoes I wear. Yes, on the daily. If it's remotely warm enough to wear slides, I have slides on, and if it's there's snow on the ground, I have my UGG boots on. So that's really about as complex as it gets. I mean, I do have I have some Ultra Boosts, a nicer pair of Ultra Boosts, but a lot of my shoes are obviously from the team. I did hop on the Air Force One train recently, got me some low top Air Force Ones, and I got a couple pair of Vans, but 99% of the time it's slides or the UGG boots, the low top tied UGG boots, not the high top ones.
Okay, so here's what I was gonna say. If you're talking about like Ultra Boosts, the equivalent with Nike, like definitely like Adidas has better like athletic shoes, and Nike has better apparel, I think is what I've sort of settled on. But now we have to talk about this UGG boot thing. You were the first person that I've in years, literal years, that I have heard that still wears UGG boots.
Oh, they're a popular item on the team. I mean,
really,
I'm not the only one. Probably, I'd say there's probably 15, 20 dudes that wear them. I mean, really, when you're rolling out of bed at whatever time in the morning, it's whatever is simplest just to slip on. And so, I mean, yeah, to get through the snow, although they're terrible on ice, terrible. Like, you got to watch your step with the UGG boots. So, but that's what, just fashion wise and warmth, that's what I go with.
Have you witnessed one of the like non-local kids wear them when there's been ice on the ground and fall? Have you seen one of like the Georgia boys or the Florida kids like walk out of the house with Ugg boots. It's 4 degrees outside. They're trying to keep their toes cool or trying to keep their toes warm, and then they slip on the ice and fall. Have you seen this?
I don't know how many. I mean, I'm sure I've witnessed people slipping in the parking lot. I mean, I've slipped in the parking lot multiple times in them. I don't know. I can recall those specific incidents recently.
That's fine. You don't need to put any teammates on blast. That's fine. I mean, I guess Ugg boots, when it's like, because it was like, there was a stretch last year where we went like a week where it didn't get above 0.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I mean, I guess, all right. Okay. That makes sense. You can be sponsored by Gatorade, Powerade, or one of the other like sports drink companies like Body Armor. Kobe's company is my preference. But you can be sponsored by one of them, but it comes with the stipulation that you can only drink that one. You cannot drink the competitors. Which one are you choosing?
Gatorade.
Gatorade?
Yep, no doubt. Yeah, Powerade's really fallen behind the game with everything, I feel like, as of late. They were making a little push a few years ago, but Gatorade Zeros definitely kill Powerade Zero. Gatorade has new little protein drink.
I saw those.
Gatorade Zero with 10 G's of protein, all about the protein. So naturally drink a couple of those a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, until Powerade can step their game back up.
I have bought Powerade once, I think since I've lived in Lincoln. So the last 4 years, one time. That one time, it was because they were out of the Gatorade that I get. And the person that was behind me at the checkout line shamed me for getting Powerade. Shamed me. Legitimately shamed me. He's like, who the hell gets Powerade? And I turned around. I was like, are you talking to me? I was so taken aback. And I was like, all right, well, it's just can't get Powerade anymore, I guess. So interesting. Okay. Because this is a podcast and we are podcasting people right now. Have you listened to Adrian's podcast yet?
I have. I've taken a listen to everyone that's come out so far.
What do you think?
I like it. I like what he's doing. I think his next episode is with old JoJo. So we'll see. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, or if that's disclosed information, but I'm pretty sure it's with him. So that'll be a for sure interesting one.
Are you going to make an appearance? Are you a big podcast person?
So I'm a podcast. I do like podcasts. I am a podcast guy from a not necessarily like an entertainment standpoint, like not a Barstool guy, not a, I don't know, I'm a Joe Rogan guy, but I'm more of a, like an educational podcast type guy. So there's a couple I listen to in regards to that. Mission Critical Team Institute, super solid in regards to psychology, leadership, things like that. I used to be on a big investing podcast grind probably a year ago during the pandemic. I listened to a lot of Listen Money Matters. So anyways, I'm the same way when I watch shows and stuff. I'm big into documentaries. I like to, kind of be entertained, but also learn something while I'm going through.
Very cool. So are true crime podcasts in there? You a true crime guy? No,
I haven't. I hear the commercials for them all the time on Spotify, but no, never broke down it. I don't know. I mean, I've gotten into like Criminal Minds a little bit. I've seen some of those episodes. So maybe, but I don't know. We'll see. I just never sat down and actually started one.
And there are so many of them. They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody has one. Well, maybe there's an idea for you, an informational podcast for you, hosted by Ben Stille.
We'll see.
I tell you what, though, if you did something that was like, it's probably hard because you don't have the visual component to it. But if you did something that was like informational about football, like that would kill. I don't know how many of those there are. I've done like cursory searches for some football stuff, and it's a lot of like idiots like myself talking about football as opposed to like guys telling you how to play the game or talking to you about stuff that matters with football. So there you go. There's another idea.
Yeah. Here I'm looking up. Out of nowhere. Daniel Woodhead and Slauson have a good one. I don't know if you heard theirs. Out of Nowhere podcast.
I have not.
They talk a lot. I mean, a lot of football, a lot of just like behind the scenes NFL dynamics that you would never have any idea of, or any way to get that information from if they weren't telling you. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics that I've learned through that podcast as well.
Cool. Well, Ben, I've taken up enough of your time. I look forward to seeing what you can do next in this space. I'm happy for you guys that you finally have this opportunity to do stuff with your name, image, and likeness. It's great that we finally hit this place. Super excited about this camp that you're hosting. I will link to your website on the description of this podcast for anybody listening that wants to go directly from this podcast to go sign up for it. You can do that. The link will be in the description. Ben, I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate you having me.
We'll be back next week with another one. In the meantime, keep reading HailVarsity.com. Subscribe to all the Hail Varsity podcast offerings. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
A Hurrdat Media Production.